So what if I told you that the simplest little change that you could make at address could either get you hitting a lovely little draw on call like that every time, or the opposite at address could get you hitting that lovely little fade, giving you lots of control. And if you are a golfer who already shapes it one way or the other and wants to hit the ball straighter, the little adjustment I'm going to talk about here at setup, which takes less than a second to do, could get you hitting the straightest shots you've ever hit. Now, I'm sure you're intrigued. So, what we need to understand is if we're influencing the shape of the golf ball, where the ball sets off is very much where that club face points. The shape is then the path the club's moving on. So the face to path becomes important. So if I were to make a swing and I'm a slicer of the golf ball, and my club face was open to the direction the club's moving, the ball will shape from left to right. Now, how open depends on where the club sets off, and vice versa. If I hook the golf ball, the club face is going to be closed to the path, and then moving the path round is going to affect the face pointing direction, but it's face to path that's key. And a lot of golfers work really, really hard on, do I need to change something at address? Do I need to fiddle with my grip? But for a lot of the time, if we were to understand that the way we're delivering the golf club is we move back, the lower body unwinds, the upper body turns, and when we can get our body opened up the correct amount for us, that club face would be perfectly square. But we all move a little bit differently, different strength, different flexibility. So our ability to open our body up can change dramatically. So if we were somebody who wanted to get the ball to curve from right to left, we'd need to get that club face more closed to whatever our path is to get the ball shaping right to left. And a great way to get that club face to stop, and I don't need any help with this, but a great way of doing that is to restrict how much the body can turn out the way. The body stops, the hands keep going, and that closes the club face. So I know what you're thinking. How do I get my body to do that? So if you take your normal address position and then your lead foot, turn the foot so it's square, maybe even slightly in. What that'll do is you'll only be able to get the hips so far out the way, they'll stop, then the body will stop, and then the club will move. And if I were to set up in that position for me, we can see straight away there the ball curving from right to left, and we can see the face to path, the club was 2.8 degrees closed. Now, be honest, for me, that wasn't full speed, so I didn't see the club really kind of wrap over a lot. So if I were to do that a little bit quicker, so again, set up, turn that foot even so it's pointing in slightly, and go a bit quicker. We can see there again, curving from right to left. There's that drawy one, which I don't need any help with. And that club face a little bit more at 3.5 degrees closed. So by restricting the body's ability to turn out the way, that enables that club to close quicker. Now let's say, for example, I wanted to get the ball to go the other way, which I'm sure maybe 90% of you watching don't need encouragement that way, but some golfers draw the ball or hook the ball and they'd want to be able to work the ball the other way or take shape off. So what they would do is they'd set up, and from their normal position, again with that lead foot, we're going to open that foot out a lot, and that's going to allow that body to really open up. And then you can see there that club face is going to be more that way as opposed to this way. So open that foot right up, make my normal swing. And we can see that one curving left to right. And we can see that club face there, 3.6 degrees open. Now, in my opinion, and I see lots of golfers who tell me they hit the ball dead straight. They don't. There's an element of curve. But you might say, I don't want to curve it. I want to take curve off my shape. So if you're a slicer of the golf ball, we want to restrict that body turn. So if you're that slicer, you're going to take your normal setup. You're You're going to pull that foot back just to square to begin with, and you're going to hit your shot, and you're going to see what it does. But we want you to feel that you can exaggerate that a little bit. Now, I would just say, more from a physical perspective here, if you are a little bit tight, this is putting restriction into the body. So I would hit a few without going full speed to begin with and just see how the body feels. But if I were to really close that lead foot for me, well, we can see that one viciously shaping from right to left. Club face nearly 12 degrees closed. And if you're somebody who delivers that club face wide open, that might be a great little feel for you. And what you'll do from restricting is it'll help you learn probably how the hands and arms are starting to deliver that club a little different. Now, obviously, if that's a little excessive, and we always want to be excessive in practice, we would then set up, go to where we were, and just move that back a little bit. So maybe go square, make that swing. And we can see there, not a huge amount of shape, and that club face 1 degree closed. But I wasn't honestly trying to do anything different in my golf swing. It's just how I'm setting that lead foot, which then restricts how much the hip can move, is getting that club face to close more. Now, obviously, if you've watched my videos, particularly from years ago, the right to left thing is never an issue for me. And so it's always a case for me that I want to feel that I can get my body opening up as much as possible. So I'm kind of leaving the club face a little bit behind. So I want to really feel that left foot's open. It is going to restrict my backswing a little bit. But again, for most golfers, I think that's a massive issue if they're a little bit shorter here, if they've got control of the club at impact. So get that lead foot wide open for me. Be nice and aggressive. And again, we can see that one just shaping from left to right. Face to path's the key number here. 1.6 degrees open. Now, I need lots and lots of help with that. Like I said, probably 90% of you watching need lots and lots of help the other way. So even though I'm talking about how you're going to deliver that club face more open or more closed, if you're somebody who's delivering it this way at address, we're definitely going to see that curve from left to right. So you need something that helps you get that club face closing. I don't need any help with that, so I need something that helps me deliver it a little bit more open than normal. So we could see that even though my lead foot was really, really splayed open, I didn't deliver the club face massively open, and I kind of like that feel. So I'd go just slightly less open on this one, put a swing on it, and would literally take that one all day, every day. Very little shape on that one. Club face 0.4 degrees open. I can take that all day long. Now, in my videos, I use TrackMan for feedback. I'm never just ultra reliant on that, but it's great that when I think I've done something, have I actually done what I'm feeling and what I'm thinking about? Because if I have, then it becomes a little bit easier to make that little change. So from there, just open it up a little bit for me, make my normal golf swing. We should see a relatively shapeless shot. So maybe a little bit thin, but again, we can see not much shape on that. That club face very, very neutral at impact. And it's great as a coach. I love it when you can just make a little tweak to somebody's setup, and something that takes like less than a second, but you have to make sure you do it, and you have to be willing to experiment to begin with. But next time you're practicing, play around with the position of that lead foot. So if you're a slicer of the golf ball, you want to turn that foot in. Let's restrict the body and get the hands and arms working a bit more. If you're a hooker of the golf ball, let's open that lead foot out. But experiment, see how much or how little you need, whether you're trying to draw it or fade it, or maybe, just maybe, try to hit the straightest shots you've ever hit.